What's up guys, it's me, Jeremy. I think it's safe to say that pretty much all of us watch some streams from time to time, and it really can be a great resource and an awesome way to learn things about the game. But there's a lot of things that I see go wrong when a player makes the transition from what they saw on stream to their actual game, so I wanted to do my best to clear up some of the misconceptions. Let's get started. The first thing that pros do on stream that the average player should not is to treat your team the same way pros treat their teams. A lot of pros tend to be a little bit toxic because it can often be pretty funny and lead to a good viewer experience, but that type of attitude is not going to translate into positive experiences in your games. In addition, when a pro like I'mACutiePie talks to his team, he's often making a lot of really offensive jokes because he's playing with a team who knows that he's I'mACutiePie. They know he's a really goofy dude, but if you made the same kind of jokes to your team, they will almost always come across as toxic. While it's okay for the pros to do that because they have a much more personal relation with their team, since pretty much everyone will know who they are, and most often the pro will know who everyone in their game is. In addition, you shouldn't blindly copy their setup, meaning things like runes, masteries, and item builds. Pros are really good at the game, which means their setup of items, runes, and masteries is going to be extremely dynamic and very tailored to the current game that they are in. If you blindly copy their setups, you will almost always end up with something that is fairly suboptimal to your situation. Use their setups as a nice resource, but a pro's build is almost never linear and will almost never apply to a lot of situations that you could translate into your games. You need to build items and select your runes and masteries based on your current game and the champions in it, as well as the current game state. In addition, especially when it comes to runes and masteries, they can often be heavily tailored to your playstyle, and depending on how you are good at and like to play the game, your runes and masteries should be tailored accordingly, and there isn't really going to be a best option for runes and masteries until you get to a really high level of play, since it's all about what you as an individual can make the most of and find the most power with, rather than blindly doing something because a pro did it. And lastly, be careful of what I call high skill floor decisions, essentially choices and plays that are really only possible to make work if the player has a very high level of skill, or potentially if their teammates have a very high level of skill. And these kinds of plays can lead to some crazy on-stream moments, but they're really almost never applicable to your games. Things like a Trick 2G disrespect where he runs through the entire enemy team was realistically only possible because he was a good enough player to dodge like 10 or more skill shots. So if you try to do the same, you will pretty much always get totally wrecked and end up looking really silly. So watch out for plays that take a lot of skill to perform, and be wary of attempting the same in your games. Now, with all of that said, pros are still pro at the game for a very good reason. There's no denying that pros are really good at League of Legends, and when you watch their streams, you experience some really high level gameplay, and so they really can be a great resource to take into account when making decisions for your own play. In addition, a lot of pros do a pretty okay job of explaining their choices and why they did certain things as they play the game, so be sure to listen to them. It's important to understand their thought process and why they did things in order to effectively apply them to your own games, because you should never ever copy someone blindly, no matter how good they are. You want to give yourself the tools and use the pros as a resource and nothing more to help make your own decisions and apply them to your own individual games. And that just about wraps it up. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.